South African law and international law are both very clear that refugee status cannot be granted to individuals in respect of whom there is a suspicion that they have committed war crimes, crimes against humanity, and genocide. General Nyamwasa is the subject of an extradition request from both France and Spain, which allege that he has been involved in the commission of war crimes and crimes against humanity. There is also a high-level UN report that links him to the commission of crimes against humanity in the DRC. Now, we're not maintaining that he is, in fact, guilty of those crimes. He obviously has not stood trial, but there does exist a reasonable suspicion, and until he has been cleared of such suspicion, he is not eligible for the grant of asylum. And in fact, to grant him asylum is to put in danger the entire refugee system, because it is intended to protect those who are most defenseless and helpless, and not, in fact, be given to those who cause the helplessness.
How confident are you that the High Court in South Africa will uphold your case?
We're confident that we have a strong case, that there is documented evidence which makes clear that he, in fact, is the subject of a reasonable suspicion. Certainly the time within which he was granted asylum makes it clear that the South African authorities did not give proper consideration to the accusations that have been leveled against General Nyamwasa. The difficulty is that the South African authorities are refusing to disclose the record in respect of his asylum application, citing the fact that such records are confidential. We contest that fact, but it will be difficult if the record regarding that asylum application is not put before the court.
Do you think there's some kind of political play going on here?
He was granted asylum within a very short period of time, and that certainly puts into doubt the fact that there was proper consideration given to the accusations against him, that the authorities applied their minds in the way that they are required to do in granting asylum. Obviously, he is a very high-level source with connections to those in power in Rwanda, and it certainly is not entirely speculative to suppose that there have been political considerations in play here.
If he is found innocent of the charges against him, would you be quite happy for him to continue to hold that refugee status?
We would. We would then not have a case against him. And in fact, it's not so much a requirement that he be found innocent. There's not a requirement that he be subject to trial. In terms of granting a refugee status, there has to be proper consideration and an investigation of the allegations against him. And the standard of proof there is not the same as in a criminal trial. Our case is against the South African authorities, not against Nyamwasa himself. If it were established that the South African authorities had applied their minds properly in this case, then we would have no case. As it is, there are extradition requests in respect of Nyamwasa, and we believe that the South African government certainly shouldn't have granted him asylum. Our case does not have any bearing in respect of whether those extradition requests are honoured, but it is our viewpoint that those extradition requests in respect of either France or Spain should be honoured, and he should be sent there to stand trial.
The worry for your organisation is that if South Africa were to allow a suspected war criminal refugee status, it may well open the floodgates.
Exactly. South Africa is a destination in respect to which many individuals seek asylum and refugee status. We certainly believe that there are huge numbers of people who come to South Africa who should be granted asylum and are deserving of such asylum. Unfortunately, many of those individuals never get asylum here in South Africa. To grant an individual like Nyamwasa refugee status in the manner in which the South African authorities did makes the South African system vulnerable. It means that there are potential war criminals who might be granted asylum, and far from protecting those who are most defenseless, we just make individuals more vulnerable.